Hey there, welcome back to Pepper Geek. In today's video, we're going to be going through 9 different things you can do with your pepper harvest.
Yeah, so at the end of every growing season, we always find ourselves with tons of peppers, and we do get the question a lot, what do you do with all of your peppers? So we want to go through some of our favorite ways to use your pepper harvests.
But first, check out our other channel, Geeky Greenhouse, all about anything non-pepper related in the garden, like tomatoes and herbs and basically anything else you can grow yourself. If you're interested in growing other plants or growing indoors, check it out in the description below. Okay, so our first recommendation is to make hot sauce. This, of course, assumes that you're growing hot peppers, but as long as you're growing something with some spice to it, you can make your very own hot sauce at home, and it can be really simple. One of our most popular videos on YouTube is our simple habanero hot sauce, so we'll definitely link that down below. But you can really feel free to experiment as much as you want. If you grew other plants that seem like they would be a good fit, or even if they don't seem like they'd be a good fit, you might be surprised with what tastes good alongside hot peppers.
Yeah, this is probably one of the most popular things to do with a hot pepper harvest. It's a great way to use a lot of pods, and you can make a huge batch and give it away to your friends or give it away as gifts.
And the best thing about it is that usually you're actually preserving the peppers because you're using some white vinegar or maybe a specialty vinegar, or you're fermenting the peppers first. It'll last a really long time, it tastes good, and it'll keep your spice addiction alive through those colder months.
So our next favorite way of using our pepper harvest is to make fermentations and mashes. As you can see, we have a lot going on here. We have a few different fermentations going, and we have more in the other room as well. It's a great way to use up a lot of peppers, and the flavor profile really changes as the ferment starts to get going. Now, it is very time consuming to slice all those peppers and remove the seeds if you're making a ferment that doesn't have seeds in it, but you can also make a ferment with the seeds or a pepper mash and just chop them up and throw them in.
It can really be as simple as just throwing your peppers into a food processor, adding some salt, grinding them up, and packing them into a vessel of some sort to sit and ferment for weeks. We do have a video about fermenting peppers, so again, we'll link that in the description below. And while you can keep it just as simple as just peppers, you can add things like carrots and onions and garlic to add some flavor to your ferment and get everything infused into one place, and then use that later. Next up is roasting your peppers, and these are some hatch green chilies that I roasted and peeled the other day. They're delicious, and this is one of the most common ways to use this type of pepper, but you can do it with your bell peppers, you can do it with jalapeños. It makes them really, really tasty, gives them an interesting texture, and it doesn't look amazing, but it's definitely worth the time.
Yeah, we're making some macaroni and cheese right now, and we're gonna chop these roasted hatch chilies up and mix it right in. So it's a great way to prepare your peppers and change up the flavor profile a little bit and use them in recipes.
And then whenever you don't use, you can just pack them into some bags and freeze them for later.
So our next idea for using your pepper harvest is to make sweet treats. The sweet and spicy combination is really great, and we've made cookies, gummy bears, lollipops, candy. So it's a really unique way to use your peppers, and it's always fun around Halloween because you can make candy and give it away to your friends. And that being said, it's also a given that you can use the peppers in sweet recipes, but also just use them in regular recipes too. So make some spicy grilled cheese or spicy quesadillas, or what do you think?
What else? Yeah, I think so far the gummy bears were my favorite one, but they've all been really good. I like the combination of sweet and spicy. Next up is one of our favorite ways to preserve peppers, and that is pickling. I have some jalapeños. We grew so many jalapeños this year, so we just took our biggest ball jar and filled it with a really simple brine and pickled these jalapeños, and they're just so tasty, so simple, and they're preserved for basically however long you want.
Yeah, there's nothing better than reaching into the fridge for a quick snack and grabbing some pickled jalapeños and throwing them on cheese and crackers. And they're also great to give away. Instead of giving somebody a pound of jalapeno peppers, give them some pickles, and they're more likely to use them.
True. Again, you can do this with other peppers. Jalapeños are just a great example, but banana peppers, sweet peppers, really hot peppers can be pickled as well, or you can add a few hot peppers to your sweet peppers.
Yeah, mix and match them, do some experiments, super fun. So our next tip for using your peppers is to dehydrate them and make powder. As you can see here, we have a couple different powders. This is 100% cayenne powder, which is great. It's probably one of the most versatile powders because you can just put it on anything. And it also makes a great gift because people love cayenne powder and you can just put it in a jar. It's a great way to use up a lot of peppers. It just condenses them. I mean, I don't know how many peppers are in here, but it's amazing.
Right, you take all the water out of them. I mean, peppers are something like 90% water, and so you grind it down and a ton of peppers becomes a really small, compact, little preserved pepper harvest.
This is like sand art for peppers.
Yeah, we got a little creative this year and put a few different varieties layered into this ball jar. It's pretty.
And it is worth mentioning, if you're dehydrating and making powder out of super hot peppers, it makes a great animal deterrent in the garden. So sometimes we'll just grab a handful of our super hot powder from years prior and sprinkle it in the garden.
Another way to do it is to just keep your pods whole. These are New Mexico red chilies, and there are a number of ways you can do this. You can use your oven, or you can use a purpose-built food dehydrator, or you can just air dry them. A lot of people in the New Mexico region will make ristras, or basically ornamental hanging chili assortments. Really fun and beautiful, and air drying tends to make for the best flavor.
Yeah, all of these were air dried on our windowsill.
Yep, and then you can rehydrate them and make your red sauce or whatever you want to do with them. The next tip is to freeze your pepper harvest. We finally got a vacuum sealer and it's been great. It's so amazing. It takes out all of the air and sort of shrivels everything up into a nice compact package that you can throw into the freezer. But if you don't want to invest in one of those, you can just use freezer bags like you have here, but what you can expect is more freezer burn. These are from this year and these are from last year, so no freezer burn, and this is already starting to have some, so you can even freeze peppers whole. These are just green cayenne peppers and a few Tabasco chilies there. So if you're in a rush and you just don't know what to do with your harvest, it's a really simple way to get them preserved.
Yeah, you can also use a straw and just put it in the Ziploc bag and suck all the air out. Just be careful doing that. You want to inhale.
Yeah, you don't want to
ice.
inhale a seed or something.
Yeah. Come on! Yeah, it's really nice because they retain their flavor and heat as well.
But then from there, these are great for cooking. You can just throw them right into your stir fry, or you can definitely still make hot sauce. The only problem is that you're going to lose the crispness that you would have originally had with the peppers.
So our next fun idea for using your peppers, if you're of age, you can soak your hot peppers in tequila or another clear alcohol. So the fun thing about doing this is it actually reduces the heat level of the peppers, so you can use them in cooking and they still retain their flavor. And the other thing you can do is use that spicy alcohol to make a margarita or another cocktail.
Yeah, we actually tested this a little bit and it definitely seems to work. The peppers themselves are much less spicy, but the remaining alcohol liquid is spicy, so you can sort of play with those two ingredients however you want.
And you don't even have to do it for that long. We soaked our sliced peppers for about an hour and there was a noticeable difference.
And another way to give away your harvest is to look for local food pantries that might accept fresh produce. Now you might not want to give away your super hot peppers, your ghost peppers, but if you're growing jalapeños or bell peppers or anything sweet, then food pantries will probably accept it. Or just grow less next year.
No, we're not gonna do that. How many varieties are we growing next year?
Less.
So that's all our favorite ways of using our pepper harvest. If you have any more ideas, please leave them in the comments below, as we would love to explore new ways to use our peppers. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.